Yes, February. On the weekend of the 14th, love is in the air, for it'll be Valentine's Day. Who gives a crap about that mushy, overpriced bull crap? Let's freaking go. This is City Predicting. You know what we do here. We talk about professional wrestling, damn it. And boy, is the mood going to shift come Saturday night, where everyone is looking for one thing: vengeance. Welcome to WWE Vengeance Day. Welcome to the conversation and the kickoff of the NXT Simply Predicting Predictions League. Let's go, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to Simply Predicting. You know what this is. I am, of course, Noel Foster from A Grateful for Professional Wrestling. Damn it. And, of course, with me is an illustrious, wonderful panel of enthusiasts, wrestling nerds, NXT followers, and they are going to tell you that verbatim. I also want to appreciate everybody out there in the chat that are tuning in, whether you're stalkers, whether you're continued followers, whether you're first-time viewers, especially at the Rage of Wrestling. Subscribe. Again, please subscribe, comment, tell a friend. And again, if you want to get to the conversation, PayPal, my friends, or super chat, simple as that. And you want to be part of the Predictions League, your opinions matter too. The forum will be live across my social medias come tomorrow morning. And in the comment sections, also once these streams conclude, predictions are subject to change. I feel like I should say that more often than not. But the predictions will be finalized, though, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday night, February the 15th. Okay, now that I got all the formalities out of the way, let's go ahead and introduce the panel and get right into it following that. First things first, how fitting, acknowledge her. Again, one person says that this is his NXT, but as far as I'm concerned, it's her NXT. Please welcome last year's winner of the NXT Predictions League, Arlene Dominguez. Arlene, congratulations again and welcome back to 2025. How you feeling about WWE NXT Vengeance Day, my friend?
Uh, I'm I'm excited. I think it's a good card. I'm always changing my predictions as I go, and
I've noticed.
and honestly, like I gotta sometimes stick with my own instincts and just go with what because a lot of the times, like I would be like, if I wouldn't have changed it, I probably would have been more like would have had more points if I hadn't changed my opinion. So, but like I gotta just stick to my guns sometimes and not double guess or second guess myself. So I'm excited. Hopefully, I can bring it in this year again, or at least beat my brother. That's my game name goal is just to beat my brother.
The
And I
sibling
beat him in
rivalry
both
that never ends.
WWE, yeah, and
But in
NXT.
WWE
So
or
it's
NXT, the sibling rivalry that never ends. And fair enough, because also you did beat your brother last in the WWE Predictions League. But shout out to Christopher Ross and Chaz Ross, who took, of course, that league last year for the Galaxy. And Chris, I'll see you down the road, my friend. Pros are passions. Take care, brother. But all right, Arlene, good luck and good to see you. So I guess it's only fitting that we talk to the other half and see what he has to retort. Welcome, of course, Emmanuel Dominguez. Emmanuel, good to see you. How you feel about WWE Vengeance Day this weekend?
I mean, it is what it is. The main event is kind of predictable for the long run, but it's gonna be interesting how certain matches it's gonna end up, especially that woman's title, because you're wondering is like because Julia was in the Rumble, maybe they liked her too much, maybe they want her to be called up right away. Like you never know what like Shawn Michaels and Triple H got cooking in the future. That's for
Now,
sure.
I think a lot's been cooking and prepared on the menu, still yet to be tested, even tasted. Want to taste? As we're literally just in February on the road to WrestleMania and so much more. But thank you for that, Emmanuel. Speaking of someone that loves to cook and someone who represents this brand more than anybody I know as of late, even in the black and chrome, it has been his NXT since the bygone era of Rainbow Bright and the white and gold rebirth delight that brought me back in as a fan. It is his brand, damn it. Scores be damned. I better have this man talk about it. It's the Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams. JJ, it's time for you to shine once again. Hopefully this year can be your year, but this is your stage and your brand, my friend. How you feel about WWE Vengeance Day? It's good to see you.
It's good to be seen as always. Looking forward to the card. Sad I'm not going to be able to watch it all live as priorities call and I'm going to have to be at work, but it is what it is. I
Respect.
know you and Walter will handle things on the watch lawn side of things, but it it looks on paper like it should be a very predictable show. However, the point was made, there were a good chunk of these women that were in the Royal Rumble. I think only 2 that were in the Rumble aren't represented on this card at all. That being Jada Parker and Lash Legend. So is it really as predictable as it looks on paper, or could things be happening that will move them to the main roster? How much of their tenure in NXT is just a stepping stone, and how much are they there for the long haul? The women's division is stacked right now. The women's division on the main roster is kind of suffering. The men's division in NXT sucks balls right now. Thankfully, they just got an absolute injection on Tuesday night that'll help things, because the Revolution will begin to be televised there. But one man a division does not make.
No.
We learned that with Emmanuel's favorite, the man we cannot see. The man who, as of December, will never have to see wrestle again. So I'm curious to see what everybody's thoughts are, because this may not be as easy to predict as we all think it is.
Absolutely. And again, predictions here are just your opening thoughts. Your predictions aren't final or even counted unless it's in my forms. So again, plan accordingly. And even though NXT Go Home has passed, you never know what can happen between here and Saturday night that could change anyone's opinions, including, great to have him back on City Predicting, Dwayne Atkinson. Dwayne, you were especially interested to talk about NXT tonight, so much so that I thought our rep was going to bring back NXT predictions to his YouTube channel. But I guess there's a certain status quo that he expected. Now, whether or not this meets what he was looking for, doesn't matter. I look at all things wrestling for a reason, because I truly love this business. Shout out to my W fam. So, Dwayne, it's good to have you back on City Predicting, discussing NXT. How you feeling about Vendors Day, pal?
Excuse me. It's great to be back. It's great to see you guys again. Nothing I love more than talking about wrestling. I agree with JJ on this one. However, this is should be fairly easy one to predict. But to me, my personal opinion, this is more of an episode of NXT than a PLE itself. However, there's going to be a lot of hits and misses going on. My thing I'm looking forward to is seeing, are we going to see Jordan Grace appear, or possibly an appearance of a man whose name was not mentioned Tuesday night, an absolute one himself, that I'm so stoked to finally see him in WWE. I can't wait to see this. Up and all, it's going to be a great pay-per-view. I'm looking forward to it, man.
I love that. I love that positivity and enthusiasm. And I think I've said it verbatim, I'll say it again. Predictability in wrestling is not a bad thing. Damn it. And I do think a lot of what you said, Dwayne, echoes that sentiment in both the expectation of the show and probably the overall conclusive nature we think of this show. But again, I think we are going to be reliable in enjoying what Saturday brings. Speaking of reliable, there's no one more reliable across this entire panel or this network we've become, because it's subscribe. Besides the man, subscribe. That leads the rage of wrestling, subscribe. In Mr. Reliable, subscribe. Reliable, Walter Cruz. Walter, we got Sleeping Reliable, and it's going to be seeing you once again. It's going to be a lot of fun calling this with you this weekend, my friend. How you feel about Vengeance Day? Subscribe.
Good to see you guys too. I'm excited. I don't think it's as predictable as everybody is claiming it to be, as JJ said, because I might surprise some people with some of the picks I make, but time to see. It's an exciting time for NXT and wrestling as a whole, not just WWE company, but it's exciting everywhere. So yeah, people be happy about everything. Stop the tribalism.
I don't believe that word exists. And if it does exist, then you guys need a wake-up call to what it means to just enjoy the business. There's a difference between criticism and just downright being immature. You know who you are when you belong on that spectrum. If you don't, figure it out or sit on the fence when the sun doesn't shine and maybe rearrange what you have down there. If you have anything down there. I don't know. I don't judge. All right. Well, good stuff, everybody. It's good to hear everybody's thoughts of excitement and positivity. And again, I hope everyone is very excited. I know that Ryan echoed his sentiments. Thank you, Ryan, for tuning in. Shout out to Chris again, who was also in the chat. But I think without further ado, so we did the community, panelists, NXT fan base. Let's get right into it. So again, this is WWE as NXT is being recognized as a third brand, allegedly. This is, I still call it, NXT Vengeance Day. It'll come across the Peacock, of course, internationally on Netflix for those that are not using VPN or beyond the country. Shout out to Ash A. So again, please adjust your clocks accordingly. It starts 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that will be, of course, Saturday night. And of course, me and Walter Cruz will be covering here, part of the Sleep Labo Studios. Continue watching on schedule of Madness, where we truly will be unbreakable in our content. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. And as you all know, City Predicting goes as follows. I put up a match, I set up a basis behind it, and of course, one person leads with their own prediction and thoughts. We then go around to see if there is a disagreement. If there is, someone else can bring forth an opposing argument, and then we'll go from there if we believe further discussion is needed. So let's have a good time and see the predict Vengeance Day. And I think it's only fitting that we go round clockwise for the time being. So Walter, you kick things off. And I think it's only fitting, since the men's North American title has been the opener, let's see if the women could do that. Because I do have an expectation for the women of NXT when it comes to both the Women's Championship and this one, the NXT Women's North American Championship. As Fallon Henry, this generation's hardcore country, endorsed by Mickie James herself, takes on Stephanie Valkyrie. Now, of course, Stephanie Valkyrie originally, she thought she already should have had this title and already been facing the champion. But of course, we've seen how Fatal Influence stopped that from happening, to the point Shotzi Blackheart recently challenged for the title, losing effort. Stephanie Valkyrie, though, to her name, she has only had now, I believe, since that interference, one loss since being part of NXT. Now she finally gets a one-on-one match and is sending a very painful message at the expense of Fallon Henley's teammates in one-on-one action. So, can Stephanie Valkyrie win her first championship in WWE? Or will Fallon Henley make sure that this influence continues to be fatal and Stephanie receives nothing? Walter, it's on you to kick things off. Do you have a brand new NXT Women's North American Champion come this Saturday night?
This one's been rattling in my brain back and forth because I initially I kept saying Stephanie, but then I'm like, yeah, but Fatal Influence, you got the rest of the team, and she hasn't taken them out individually. Like, I wish, can one wrestler just, like, I know it's booked and scripted or whatever, can one wrestler be smart enough to take out the rest of a faction before you go for the championship match against one person? Can you just, like, week by week start taking out and injuring the rest of them so that they don't interfere in the main match? So you get your one-on-one successfully. Like, why is no one ever booked intelligently enough to do that? Like, make a smart baby face. Like, how many times has Aaron called people dumb baby faces? Like, have somebody take other people out so they don't interfere in it. But that being said, the thing is, this title has 2 champions already. Like, do you really want to see it have a third already? I get that eventually people are going to win, but I almost feel like it's too quick with these title reigns, with Kalani switching. She had a good little run, and now, you know, can Fallon Henley's run be a little longer? But, I mean, I think they're going to pull the trigger and just mark it right, because you got Julia as the NXT Women's Champion. You got Stephanie Valkyrie, who you signed close to at the same time, and both these women, and you got them representing the NXT Women's Division as both your champions. That's marketing 101. Like, show why you signed these 2 women and why they're the top notch. And then maybe Jordan Grace has to challenge one of them. Like, she already did Julia. Let's get one-on-one with Stephanie. So I think Stephanie becomes the new champion.
Okay.
But I wouldn't mind if Fallon keeps it.
Well, I mean, again, Walter, how many times has the prediction bit you in the ass? But all right. So the first ST prediction 2025 is that Stephanie Valkyrie becomes the new NXT Women's North American Champion. Funny enough, at this time last year, Stephanie Valkyrie beat Julia for the WWE Strong Women's Championship in Corrigan Hall, much to your point about how both women came very close to NXT at the same time, only a couple of months later down the line. So, standing back here for new NXT Women's North American Champion, do we have a disagreement or is unanimous? Go, well, there you go. Okay. JJ, I saw your hand go up first, then we'll go to Dwayne. So, JJ has the opposing argument. So, JJ, please give your thoughts. Why do you think that Fallon Henley retains?
See, Walter said that some of this isn't as easy to predict. This is one of the ones that I'm talking about can really go any way. Stephanie just showed up in the Rumble. So traditionally, women that appear in the Rumble get called up. The only woman to appear in the Rumble from NXT that hasn't been called up yet is Roxanne. Every other woman that showed up in the Rumble was drafted that year. So why are you going to give the title to Stephanie just to have her drop it 2 months later and hot potato it? Plus, you add the fact that Fallon Henley has JC Jane, has Jasmine Nix. You can still give Stephanie a victory without a title change, and we predict who's leaving with the title.
Correct. It's all about who leaves the gold.
I say Fallon retains here because we still have Roadblock coming in March, which will be at the theater at Madison Square Garden, and we have Stand and Deliver. If they decide that they're going to hold on to Stephanie, do it on one of those two shows. Roadblock is going to be a TV special that's added ratings, which we all know that's big for advertising dollars, or give her the Mania moment by having her get it at Stand and Deliver. But there's no need to have her take it from Fallon yet. Fallon retains.
Okay. Well, Dwayne, I saw your hand go up next, and I do think it's interesting what you said earlier about this PLE being more of a TV special. However, it was a TV special, New Year's Eve, where Julia finally beat Roxanne Perez, became the NXT Women's Champion. Now, truth be told, it's the first time ever one-on-one matchup. It's also Stanley Valkyria's first time challenging for the NXT Women's North American Championship. So not even a trilogy has been born out of this yet, though it does feel like it's been a lot longer. So, Dwayne, why do you think that Fallon Henley retains?
Because I never bet against Fallon Henley, quite frankly, but I think this is just a match to be a stepping stone for Stephanie McCare, because I've already said it. I said it last year before 2025 we started here. Not posting my prediction for the match, but it's going to be Stephanie and Julia somewhere down the line. And I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen at Stand and Deliver this year. But, anything could happen. I could be wrong. NXT ain't my greatest strength, I'm kind of trying to read between the lines of where they're going with this as well. So I'm saying Fallon Henley walks out still champion.
That's fair. And to JJ's point, this title is not even a year old yet. Kalani Jordan lost it underneath a gauntlet match last year at Halloween Havoc. Fallon Henley, she's going into what I believe is her first defense of the title on a PLE leveled NXT show. I don't remember if she defended at Deadline. I don't think she did. So it is one of those things where you talk about, again, the champion makes the championship. Fallon Henley is still very young in her run. So before I give it to Arlene, I will say right now, believe it or not, originally, I still was saying Fallon Henley was going to retain for those very reasons, JJ. I do think that this title still needs to be built more with a longer champion. And with this faction behind it, you would think she would have a longer run. So I think that Fallon's going to retain simply because of her backup, because I do think Shotzi and crew is going to come back into this. And I do think somehow we're going to get a triple threat, maybe even at Roadblock, because I forgot Roadblock was announced. Thank you for that, by the way. But either way, I think for now that Fallon will retain. So I'll get to you once I get Arlene's thoughts here, because I was just going off what I've heard so far from you three. But so far, I do think she retains as well. So 3-1. Arlene, where do you stand?
JJ can go, and then I can go.
Oh,
I was
respect.
just
Thank
going to
God.
say, to your point, she did not defend at a deadline. I just looked that up for you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Arlene.
Um, there's correct me if I'm wrong, but there's only like 3 titles on the line, right? In this pay-per-view,
Yes. The
and
NXT
2 of
North
them
American
have.
Championship for the men was defended in a steel cage on Tuesday night when the Dawn of NXT, Tony D, defended against Rich Holland.
You're just saying 4.
1, 2, 3. Who
Tag
for
titles: Women's North American, Men's
Oh,
and Women's.
I forgot
Okay.
the men's tags. They've been defending them on TNA. Thank you, JJ. Go ahead, Arlene.
Okay.
Why it's my
Um.
NXT, Noah.
I feel like keep up with so much. Damn it! I keep up with 500 plus computers on a daily basis. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I forgot about the tag team, so I was thinking if it was only 3, one of those, and 2 of those matches are triple threats. One, it, in my logic, based on that, one of them has to lose it. Like one has to lose the title, and it's not going to be in a triple threat match. At least in my theory. And so far, I haven't been wrong with my instincts so far yet. But well, at least when it comes to NXT, so or at least when I started watching it, uh, but now that it's 4, I can see
You
Fallon retaining. I can see Fallon retaining now. Now that it's 4, because I think the tag team they've had it for a long time, so I feel that they're losing it. But yeah, I could see like, Fallon, finding like the fatal influence, like interfering and it be disqualification, and that's how she leaves as champion. But then you can't leave out the Chemical X, which in my opinion is more harder than fatal influence. I'm sorry. I think they should take that name from them and they should run with it. I'm just saying. Because honestly, JC Jane and Jasmine Nix are not doing it with Fatal Attraction. I'm sorry. I think the only one that's the prettier one in that group is Fallon, and that's it. The other 3 like are more hotter than those 3. So the name doesn't fit with their image, but that's beside the point. So yeah, I could
All right.
I was originally gonna pick Stephanie to win, but now that it's now realizing it's 4, yeah. And I think that it's time for a new tag team. So yeah, yeah, I'm going with Jasmine, and JC interfering. Chemical X is gonna try to even it out, but somehow they're not gonna be able to, and that's how Fallon retains. Like
Okay
you can't
then.
count them out because yeah. So
All right. So right now, Walter Cruz is the odd one out, and Chris also getting his thoughts in here. Facey has stated about Kerr becoming the new NXT Women's North American Champion. Well, people have really put a lot of stock in La Primera, and again, I do think Julia and Stephanie is the biggest money match you could do for international wrestling fans of the NXT women's division landscape, where international flavor took over last year with Delta, Julia, and Stephanie all coming in. Jordan Grace, for that matter, from another company, even though she's American. Hey, but anyway, all right. Manuel, do you have anything to add in closing, or shall we move on?
I mean, like, it's the e-booking, like Walter said, like, I wish there had a smart baby face that would take down, the faction, but it's not happening. Like, it's like kind of frustrating because it's going to be 3-on-1 still, and overcome and Balin wins the title. I mean, like, that's the answer. That's like Stephanie's going to be too distracted with the outside interference. She's gonna take off her eye from the ball, and that's how she loses. As simple as that. But it's one of those issues. Like, well, then like why does she not get help or any friends? And that's the basics of failure influence that people are saying. They're saying they have friends. All 3 of them are friends, but the other ones don't have friends. So it's kind of like one of those storylines is you need to get friends in order to get the North American title, and that's how you because in the other way you get a very big influence this way if Stephanie just wins against 3 women, and that's kind of not a good image you want to present for them. Like that just sends them really down, and that's not going to help them long term. I think the money match is Julia versus Stephanie, and then they deliver, like I said, like a couple of months ago. That's the money match they're looking for, and that's what we're gonna get.
Okay. I mean, it's fair when you talk about the strength of a group, not by name, but by the participants. I mean, Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong. Adam Cole was always the front man, but all three members at one point, they were all decked in gold, including the NXT North American Championship. And as far as a smart babyface taking out a faction on their own, systematically, I haven't seen it since John Cena took out the Nexus and destroyed Wade Barrett at the end of the night in a table ladders and chairs match. So, again, I understand where y'all are coming from when it comes to smart babyface versus the babyface people want to see to win. But on that other logic, a heels cheat to win. That's what they do. And if they have allies, that just adds to it. And who's to say that Fountain Henry won't get herself simply disqualified and hold on to the championship? At the end of the day, it's all about who leaves the gold. And I do think Fountain Henry is still going to leave with it. Still very young in her run, but still good conversation overall. And shout out to Nestor here. While this day from NXT, too many. Oh, good grief. He might have a heart attack. I'm a little worried. Yeah, I don't know what his doctor bill is or his blood pressure. How I have normal blood pressure still in my family is beyond me, considering how much I deal with all of you also. Good grief. But again, we'll see what happens. Yes, JJ, I see your hand before we move on.
Question for you as a wrestling historian. Do Jordan Grace and Stephanie Vaquer have any history?
No.
Okay.
They've never
Didn't
faced
know
each
if
other at
maybe
all.
there was any like crossover in TNA or whatever.
Nope. The La Primera never graced a TNA ring, nor did Julia.
Okay.
Which saddens me a little bit. But anyway.
Because I was thinking to the point, like she could be the backup for Stephanie to get a clean matchup here. And that could be how they bring her out onto NXT TV as her official WWE superstar debut.
Grace, Julia, Stephanie versus Fatal Influence. I can get behind that, especially since Soruka, as of late, has been tagging alongside Zarya, so that's a whole different dynamic there. And by the way, shout out to Zaruka, I guess they're being called, with the win over Chemical X. So, again, things are possible, especially since we know TNA Impact is coming to Full Sail University, and this NXTNA is going to be alive for a long damn time.
And I'm bummed I have to work that night also.
Again, man, prayers are passions. It is what
I
it
know.
is, brother. It is what it is. But hey, come on, JJ. Give me a smile. Smile for me. Smile for me. Because you get to talk about ego. Oh, ego, Ethan Page going one-on-one with Javon Evans. And kind of interesting that he's not smiling here in this graphic. You're always screwing up, WWE. All right, so straight up, since Ego Page lost out at NXT deadline and was virtually destroyed by the ruler of NXT now, Obafemi, we wasn't really sure what direction Ego's career was going to go in, but Javon came out to remind Ethan Page what he's capable of, being such a veteran of the business. And Ethan basically thanked Javon by destroying his jawline, literally busting his mouth, causing him to bleed, saying, "Smile for me! Smile for me!" And ever since then, he's been trying to destroy anybody that's been smiling against him that doesn't have as big of a smile as he does. So Javon is back with a vengeance. In fact, he's literally tried to attack Ethan Page over the last several weeks. So we got the young OG who's bouncy versus the former NXT champion who's already been endorsed by the final boss, saying, "I'll see you on the main roster pretty soon, kid." And at this point, probably Ava Rain's biggest headache in NXT. Straight up, one-on-one match, no stipulation, no title in play, but you do wonder if this could lead to application for either man down the line, considering we've seen Javon with Trick. We know the history of Ethan Page and Trick Williams. We also know the history of Ethan Page and Obafemi. I don't know if you're not sure if he wants to mess with that guy, but that's a whole different conversation. So, simply put, JJ, who loses their smile here and who you got winning this singles bout?
Well, there is a slight stipulation on the match, as Ava Rain made Javon Evans sign a contract saying that if anything happened to him in this match, NXT is not liable.
Oh.
Because doctors cleared him, but they said that any further damage to his mouth could result in a longer absence from the ring. So there is a slight stipulation in that if anything further happens, NXT is cleared from any wrongdoings. That being said, Javon Evans has to get his come up here. This is one of those matches that looks way too easy to call on paper. And I'm kind of pissed that you gave me this match to start first on, because I could wax proxy on so many other ones, but this one has to go to Javon.
All right. Seems like it's cut and dry pretty much with a smile. So we got Javon Evans. Does anybody here have a disagreement before we move on? Really? And
Nash is just being contradictory.
Hey, she was last year's champion, so she can be as contradictory as she wants. Go ahead, Arlene. Why do you think All Eagle Page is going to take away Javon's smile, maybe permanently?
Just because, like, I feel like if Ethan Page loses this, I feel like he loses his momentum. Like his character, like, wouldn't make sense. Like he's going on this like dark journey, like and stuff. So for Javon Evans to win this, I feel like it kills what he's trying to build across. So I feel like Ethan Page kind of has to win this one, and then Javon Evans kind of wins the next one. It has to win the next one. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like if Ethan Page loses this one, I mean, like, what do you do with him after this? Like, what does he do after this?
Fair point.
Like, I mean, you can't put him in the title picture like NXT. Like, if he loses, they're gonna call him up. I could see that, but I mean, he didn't appear in the Rumble, so I mean, like, but I mean, it doesn't say that doesn't mean that they're not gonna call him up. It's just like if he loses, then you're gonna call him up because otherwise, what are you gonna do with him? He can't be like, I want to challenge for the NXT Championship. Why? You lost to Javon Evans. Like, what makes you have the right to get that championship? And I don't know. I just feel like what do you do with him after if he loses this one?
I mean,
Like,
I got
he goes more
thoughts.
and like he continues to rampage, but who's he gonna go after next? Like who would be his next challenger if he loses this, you know? So I feel like he kind of has to win this one and then Javon Evans go away for a little bit and then come back and then he can win an NXT Stand and Deliver at the biggest stage. And then you can maybe call up Ethan Page after that if that's the plan. But I feel like after if he loses this, like who do you have him face next? Because if he
That's
loses,
fair. I
and
mean,
then
that's fair.
that's my thinking process. So I think like if you make him lose, like like I feel like you're just like I mean like there's that story. Like yeah, he'll start attacking other people, but who do you see him attacking, or
Well,
at least get himself into that title picture? So those are the questions I have. So that's why I'm going more with Ethan Page because like I'm trying to think who he could like what will you do with him after that? Because like look what happened with Ridge Holland. He beat and Chase. He put Chase U. Sorry, JJ, but he got rid of the university, and yet he's challenged for the title twice and he couldn't win it. So it's like now, what do you do with Rich Holland? The same thing I feel like that's going to happen here. Like, what do you do with him if he loses to Javon Evans? So I don't know.
I think I can
So
see
I
I can see how your brain's boggling though. Yeah,
so yeah.
it's a
So
big what if. The Simon Miller,
yeah,
why? You're turning into what? But I think that Tilla and Lily were on point with that because again, there is another thing Nugget Page was known for as one half of the longest reigning modern day tag team champions in TNA history, the North. And for those that don't know, spoiler alert, if you haven't been watching TNA, you've been living under a rock. Josh Alexander Walker Webber just wrestled his last match in TNA. So again, whether or not there is a little trolling or validity to this tweet, shout out to my TNA correspondent. Please follow her at Rages of Wrestling and, of course, her work with By Slim and Burt Macklin. Of course, talking about how Jordan Grace said, see you soon, bro. And we do wonder if there is a team that could upset the most effective tag team in wrestling on the Western Front this last year, which we'll talk about pretty soon here. I think that both Attila and Lily are on point, and that's the next thing you do of him. Plus, let's be honest here. Ava Reigns is doing the matches, but the ruler is saying, I want these men. Why the hell is A Clown Down Under, which I'm going to roast later, freaking challenging the ruler? But we'll talk more about that later. That being said, I do understand your counterpoint to JJ. So we got 1-1. Now, I did see Manuel, then I did see Walter. So, Manuel, go ahead. What do you guys say real quick?
Oh, that Irene basically said it. Like I was gonna tell her two simple words for you. Reminder of this dark path. Rich Holland. That's all you need. Like at this point, like it's not about like yes, Rich Holland got like lost twice from the NXT title. He lost twice for the North American title, and you're wondering what's next for him. Well, you either do two things with Rich Holland: either call him back up, which I don't see, or release him, which is sad. But no one wants to want to hear that. But let's face it, he's like his gimmick is basically dead in the war for NXT. I don't see him as a threat anymore. The momentum is gone. It's vanished. At this point, Javon Evans like kind of needs his his win because like they wouldn't make the stipulation saying they aren't reliable with his mouth injury, which is kind of a dumb gimmick. I'm not sure who brought the idea up because I feel like it has derailed him big time, and it makes more sense, like for Ethan to win. I agree with Arlene at that point, but you need to have that baby face victory. Like he's not going to retire after this match. He's going to continue and rise up. So that's the kind of the story they're going to be telling. That even though he has this injury right now, that he's going to overcome it. So that's why Javon Evans is going to win this.
Okay, babyface comeback story as old as wrestling itself. And the last time we did see Javon Evans get a major win was literally on NXT Extreme against all people, Wes Lee. So I also do think that the young OG, the bouncy OG, Javon Evans, I see a lot of Leon Slater and Javon Evans, where Leon Slater right now is trying to figure himself out in TNA, maybe being endorsed by the Hardys. Javon Evans versus Leon Slater needs to happen. Shawn Michaels and Team Morella, just saying. But I do think Javon Evans has a lot of upside, and this is one of the bigger storylines, singles-wise, for him in a long damn time. So I understand where you're coming from. Now, Walter, I did see your hands. What do you guys say regarding this? Where do you stand with Ethan Page, Javon Evans? For a match you fought that pretty much cut and dry, JJ, once again, not so much. Go ahead, Walter.
It is cut and dry to me. I think Ethan loses, but I was just gonna say I know what you do with Ethan, but then the wifey kind of stole the momentum. But that's all I was gonna say was like you bring back the North, like that's a way to bring him in. That to bring Josh in is the Ethan needs motivation or Ethan needs help, and he goes and you put him in the tag division. Like you know you got Ricky Starks that just joined, so he's a single star that's going to inject into your singles division. So now move Ethan into the tag division and do something else.
Fair enough. And behind every man, there's a greater woman. And I hope that you both also have a lovely Valentine's Day. Hello, Lily. Always appreciate you. You're just as reliable as Walter. Arlene, what do you got to say real quick before I see if Dwayne has anything to say before we move on? And Dwayne, you're also leading the next match. But go ahead, Arlene.
Well, I was gonna say if you go with that theory, right, who's to say he can't help him win the match against Javon Evans?
Ref bump. I'm
Saying.
calling it now. Ref bump.
I'm just saying.
You're not wrong. Considering the multi-person matches, they have no disqualifications, so ref bump's kind of meh. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. But either way, I have Ethan Page also winning too. Dwayne, do you have anything to say regarding this match, brother?
None.
Where do
None
you
at
stand?
all.
Just go ahead and say a name.
I'm going with Ethan Page. I'm going with
Okay.
Ethan Page because they're building him up for, like they said, either a main roster call, which I don't think so just yet. I think they're going to wait and pair him back up. We want to see him with Josh Alexander some way, either foes or allies one. So, I think that's what it's boiling down to.
Fair enough, even though there's no Canadian dates for NXT coming up, but the Elimination Chamber's coming up. Yeah, I see you were stirring. I saw your hand up. You got something to say real quick? I saw your brain stirring. I could tell.
You did. You saw Pinky running on the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Asking Brain what we're going to do tonight.
Try to take over the world.
So I hate to admit it, but Arlene has some very valid points here. And the more she was talking, don't pat your head, you Chase, you hater, you. But the more she's talking, the more I started to think about the little video we keep seeing at the end of the episodes and these mysterious men.
Ah.
And the words Vengeance Day afterwards. You know, if you take the headband off of Javon Evans and you just have the braids down, the guy second from the right has got some braids, some dreads going. I don't know if it is Javon. I'm pretty sold that the one on the far right is Dion Lennox, the book smart dude with glasses that we've seen backstage.
Oh yeah, with that one guy with Malik Blade, the jobber tag team. I know what you're talking about.
But I'm wondering if this could be how this group debuts, and maybe they're coming to help Javon Evans, if he in fact is the one that I think he is in that image.
Well, considering we just saw the full build of a new heel group, I guess a babyface group to counter that as a debut is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think of dark ambience. I think of something that's going to be more of a threat than a treat in your NXT. So,
and I agree. If you watch Javon Evans these last couple of weeks, he doesn't look like he's going to be Mr. Bouncy. He looks like he's out for some vengeance.
Fair enough.
You know, I never thought I'd see the day where All Ego Ethan Page is a baby face, but if Josh Alexander is coming to link up with him, you know, Josh Alexander is going to get that babyface pop on debut.
No denying that.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that sees that, by the way.
You're right.
That he looks exactly like Jason Jordan.
I don't know. I think this dude is taller and more jacked, but that's just me.
All I know is Jason Jordan, he was a beast when he first was there. But you're right. I totally forgot that this alleged group is supposed to arrive at Vengeance Day. So that's a fair point. All right, Arlene, I see your hand over quick, and then we'll move on to our next match. Good conversation around, but it sounds like most people are still going with the man that has the smile with the dimples. But what do you got to say real quick?
Well, I was gonna say that another person that you could say it could be in that picture too is Trick, because he feels like he was gifted and not getting a title his title shot, another title shot in there too, if you could put that in there, I guess.
I mean,
Or
he
an
has
idea.
been pretty irate. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So if you go with that logic, everybody that feels like they've been cheated, like he's one of those people that could say he's been cheated and like basically feel like that he's like not deserving of another chance, I guess you could say. So he can have some vengeance, like, no, you guys are underestimating me. So that was all I was gonna say about that.
I mean, that's fair. If we haven't followed Trick Williams more so as the babyface we enjoy seeing the chase, maybe versus enjoy holding the title. How many times have we said that, though, when it comes to the babyface actually getting the moment, though, and he's already had the moment 2 times. But he is in action, though, at this show, and he might need to adopt a new attitude if he's going to prevail in the match that he is going in, considering he's facing a constant gnat that's been annoying the hell out of him and whipping him like a government mule. Hello, JR. Yes, JJ.
And let's not forget that it was last year at Vengeance Day that Mello turned.
Oh, that's right. After the main event with the Dragunov. I totally forgot about that. Damn good match.
So could Trick be turning heel a year later?
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, again, the people love to whoop that Trick, but maybe he's tired of people whooping that Trick with him.
And
Maybe
I've been saying that
betrayed
for
him.
the longest time, haven't I been saying that? And that's
You
the
have.
only way you can reunite him with Carmelo Hayes, because Aaron's been saying you gotta hit him back with Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes has a heelish character. You cannot pair him up with Trick Williams unless you turn him heel as well. That's the only way that team's gonna work. Otherwise,
right.
it's like you can't do it. because no one's gonna cheer for Carmelo Hayes. Sorry if you put him with that tag.
I cheer for Carmelo Hayes, but that's just me.
I mean, I
Well-
cheer for him too, but I'm just saying, like, if you like, a lot of people don't cheer for him, is what I was trying to get at.
The casuals.
Exactly, yeah. And that's
fair
where
enough.
I'm at. And
Joe Schmo from Kokomo as WWE
And really
shuts everybody.
quickly, since Ridge Holland was brought up earlier, am I the only one that thought he was actually going to beat Tony D this past week?
I thought so too.
Like, I was waiting. Okay, don't boo me, Arlene. Okay, but I legit thought that Ridge was going to win, and then Andre Chase was going to come out to try to get some redemption, be the first feud, because he's the only one we've still seen of Chase U. And he's even said old habits die hard, starts sliding to that Chase U persona before. Didn't Chase U disband? Old habits die hard. Like, could have been something there. I was holding on for hope, but Ridge had to go and lose like an asshole.
yeah, that's the one
And
thing
what
I
do you
like
do
when I
with
told.
him? You bring him up to the main roster and you put him with the New Day. What bigger heel move than to have your third man be the guy that injured Big E?
Damn. How about a different form of heat? I mean, I guess in that dynamic it works. But that being said, you're just trying to strap the rocket. It sounds like a Ridge Holland going up to the main roster. But all right, either way,
It's
allow
about the only thing I
spots.
think that would work, bro.
I mean, that's
No,
fair.
I was telling my brother too, because I told him, I was like, I have a question. He's like, why didn't Ridge Holland win? I was like, well, that's beside the point. I said, when did Izzy Dane join the freaking the D'Angelo family?
Let me educate you, sister. You don't trust a dame, all right?
Exactly.
Seriously, I knew Izzy
That's
Dame was heel the day she showed up in NXT and was alongside Kiana James.
Look,
Yeah.
Jeff has always said, leave it to a woman to fuck up the Hakuna Matata. The D'Angelo family has been riding solid. Izzy Dame comes in, fucks it up. Chase U was riding solid. JC Jane came in, fucked it up. Simba was out there living his best life with Timon and Pumbaa. Nala showed up, fucked it all back up. Just saying, leave it to a woman to fuck up the Hakuna Matata.
I mean, again,
Adam was chilling. A woman came in, fucked all of us up.
well, not me, because I'm smarter than most people in this room because I choose to stay solo for life. But that being said, let's go ahead and move away now from this match because I think we pretty much dissected every way possible that Ethan and Javon both need to win, how Josh Alexander can intercept, but also could the faction have any implications here? I don't think so. I think it have implications in a different match. But I don't think it's going to be this one because I'm going to change it back to title dynamic and why it might be the title of NXT. I dare Dwayne. I dare him to give me something different. Something that makes me not go with the ruler of NXT, Dwayne. So go ahead and talk about the NXT Championship as the ruler, Obafemi, defends the gold against two people he demanded Ava Raine to put him against. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, A-Town Down Under. Straight up, these two came down to NXT with a Grayson Waller effect, and we had a viral moment where basically Obafemi talked about how these two haven't done a jack shit. No lies detected. And Oba, of course, right now holding NXT with an iron fist. Now the ruler has been unstoppable and unopposed. But it's triple threat, right? You got Buffer, you got Fall Person. Here we thought the team was going to implode. Well, they pulled a fast one against Obafemi. I'm going it now. He pins both, but that's just me. Okay, Dwayne. Short, sweet, and simple. Who am I kidding? I can't ever say that about Cindy Predicting. You crazy yahoos know how to make a match go longer, and I kind of love that. But let's go ahead and see what we can do with this. What do you got to say regarding the NXT Championship, bro?
There's only one thing in this match I want to see. I want to see a repeat from when, freaking what year was it? We had John Cena versus Shawn Michaels and Triple H. What happened the first match? What happened the first part of the match? Shawn Michaels super kicked Triple H. I want to see Theory do that to Grayson Waller. Other than that, I don't care about this match. To me, this is basically going to be a one-sided match. Convince me otherwise, it's not. They're going to probably put on a good show, but, You can't have a triple threat without having the two guys go at it. It's going to happen somewhere down the
Right.
line. One's going to eventually hit the other by supposedly accident, or one's going to probably try to jump on the other one while they're down, whatnot. So either way, man, there's no way in hell Obafemi's walking away without that title.
Yeah, and by the way, that's Survivor Series 2009. That's still one of my favorite shows and favorite matches of all time. Because for those that don't know, my goal of the business will always be Shawn Michaels. But that being said, I love that idea. And again, this team, we thought they were going to implode. They pulled it fast against Obafemi. Almost about to fuck him up. Bottom line, Dwayne Atkinson, over the balance, Obafemi. I dare anybody to say anything else. Going once. Going to okay, I was just to say you don't troll me. All right, we're not Rick Rolling. Rick Rolling is a dying fad in 2025. All right, so that was simple. All right, I figured I'd give a little bit of an easier match before we get into more matches with multiple dynamics with other people going to top. But while you got your hand up real quick,
Yeah, but to say put me full screen, and that's all you have to say about it. It's in my name. You know the way little sport. That's it. That's all you need.
that's simply put. Yep. I mean, I feel like everyone should just do that. JJ, what do you gotta say? Because here's the thing. Hello, Jeff. I will say this. This man has been heavily endorsing Austin Fury since he's been part of the main roster, and Grayson Waller for that matter. So he's probably going to support them in this, but even he could see there's going to be a viral moment where one of them hits the other, maybe inadvertently, because only one can leave with the gold, not the team. We are never getting another flawless, lay cool dynamic again, thank Christ. Go ahead and say something real quick, JJ, before I move on.
First of all, I got to pop that you mentioned the lay cool thing because I just watched the Chris Van Vliet interview with Michelle McCool earlier today, and she talked about that, how she has half of that title belt and Layla has the other half. Still to this day, but
that was a fantastic interview.
I think Oba's going to win. I think he's going to retain. I'm not disputing that, but I just want to throw it out there into the ether. What if A-Town Down Under aren't as dumb as everybody wants to think they are? What if this is all part of a master plan? Let us not forget, the champ doesn't have to be pinned.
Right.
So the two of them gain up on Oba. One of them quick rolls up the other one. 1, 2, 3. They just stole the title from Obafemi. I'm just saying, it is not out of the realm of possibility for something that these two would concoct. We've been sitting here for months talking about, oh, Fraxium's going to lose this match and they're going to break up. They're going to lose this match, lose the towels. They're going to break up. They're going to lose this match, lose the towels, and break up. And they're the fucking little engine that could. Great segue to go into them for the next match. But everyone's thinking that the A-Town Down Under is going to implode here. What if it's all a ruse? Because neither one of them have ever been NXT champion.
Nope.
Just throwing it out there. Weirder shit has happened. Just let it percolate in y'all's brains.
All right. Well, Arlene, what you got to say real quick regarding that?
I was just gonna say, how do they, how does that talk go to? Like, how do they decide who's taking the pin? Like, do they play rock, paper, scissors, or they pull a name out of a hat and whoever loses is the one that gets pinned? I'm just like curious.
Yeah, finger poke of doom.
If that's the plan, I wonder how they decide who was gonna be taking the pin and who's gonna be taking the title. Because I mean, if I was Austin Theory, I'm like, I'm not taking the pin. Well, I'm not taking the pin either. So it's like one of those like, well, how do we decide who's gonna be taking the pin? So I'm just like that's actually a funny thing to think about. Like if that's the plan, like it would be funny to figure out how they got to who was getting pinned for this one.
Just remember, we've had not one but 2 finger pokes of doom in history.
That's fair. I hate that that's accurate, but that's also fair.
Hogan to Nash, Triple H to Shawn.
Yep. I remember that second one.
Friends to friends, to help move the belt.
And Obed's only been pinned twice in his entire wrestling career. One of those, of
And
course,
this
being an
way-
extreme circumstance.
And this way he would be able to lose it without eating a pin.
Well, I will also say this. People thought Asuka was going to lose the NXT Women's Championship when it was triple threat with Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross. And Asuka pinned them both. NXT Chicago, one of my all-time favorite shows. I see Oba wrecking shop and doing the same thing here that Roman Reigns did to Edge and Daniel Bryan back at WrestleMania 37 in quicker fashion. Either way, I'm not going against the ruler of NXT. And Clown buried down under, not in Australia. Despite the fact we're covering Grand Slam the same day. I just realized that too. Damn it. Okay. All right. Either way, it's unanimous. That was fun. Okay. But in all seriousness, we had to talk about this match somehow. It feels like to me it should be a talking point. To Dwayne's point, that might as well be on TV because you guys know damn well that boy ain't losing that title any damn soon. The result will always be the same. So, Dwayne, I felt like I cheated you, so I'm going to rectify that. Great segue, because guess what, JJ? That was my next match, and I'm sure I'll have more to say about this. Because, Dwayne, do Fraxium finally lose the tag team titles, for Pete's damn sake? Because Fraxium is officially defending the NXT Tag Team Championship against Yoshiki Inamura and Josh Briggs. And for those that don't know, Inamura is from Pro Wrestling Noah. But since the excursion from the M1 victory, these two become mutual tag mates, and also this gentleman is on excursion here in NXT, or transfer portal, whatever the fuck WWE logic is trying to say right now. But Fraxium, since beating Chase University, sorry, JJ. Since being Chase University, they have been unstoppable as a tag team across NXT and TNA, including a successful defense against the Nemeth brothers. I'm going to say this right now. Ryan Nemeth might be the most obnoxious professional wrestler going today in the business. Do not give this man a microphone anymore, please. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
We've got 4 weeks of him with a microphone and Nick on suspension.
Bullshit. But I'll just leave that alone. All right,
My brother.
My brother.
Yeah.
Someone ban those 2 words. He sounds worse than the secretary from Monsters, Inc. Don't worry, Dwayne. I'm not sick tonight. I'm not doing the invitation. I remember how that one time.
Yeah, you're good on that one, but he reminds me of Roderick Strong with his Adam every time that he get on the phone.
Yeah, right. Well, that being said, Dwayne, what do you got, sir, regarding the NXT Tag Team Championships? Considering Fraxium has done every team possible in NXT, now facing almost each team in TNA at this point, I feel like eventually we might get a Worlds Collide with all the gold on the line, but that's a whole different conversation. Do you have new tag champions?
Nope. Nope. And I'm gonna tell you why. We already we've already saw them being teased. It's gonna be Fraxium and the Hardy Boys. Whether we get it on NXT, whether we get it on TNA, whether we get it at Worlds Collide, I don't know. But they wouldn't have teased that match if we weren't going to get it somewhere down the line. But I think they're saving the belts for possibly the North. I don't see nobody else beating them besides that. So I don't. Josh Briggs, I just don't. I'm over him. I wish him and Jitsu would got back together, but I don't even know about this guy that he's teaming up with. I know he's got one hell of a chop, but. Nope. Fraxium remains champs.
Well, I understand where you're coming from with that tease, but at one point we also saw DIY come down and show up in NXT. And I keep talking about Worlds Collide. TNA does not have a special for February, but they did add another one for April. Yay. But it is one of those things where, yeah, I was kind of surprised to see Josh Briggs and Inamura win the triple threat. But at the end of the day, it's a team they haven't faced. And literally in the span of 2 weeks, that's 3 successful title defenses if they win Saturday night. So you're going with the chance retaining because you believe the big money match where we might get all the gold on the line, winner takes all, is them versus the Hardys.
Yep.
Fair enough. So we got one for the tag chance retaining. Does anyone have an opposing opposition before we move on? Going once. Going twice. I'll believe it.
Wow.
Wow,
I learned to stop betting against them.
Just 2 bets are off, guys. Sorry.
That's why we wait until the 3 count to raise it, because I think everyone agrees that the champs are going to retain, but there's like a little point that
how they might do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the
You know.
perspectives of how, and I saw all three men go do. I saw all three of these people go do. So that being said, JJ kick things off, and Emmanuel, and then Arlene. JJ, what you guys say regarding this match and Fraxium for that matter? Again, the most effective tag team right now in the wrestling business.
Yeah, I'm 100% with Dwayne on this. I think we're going to get Fraxium and the Hardys, whether it's Roadblock, Sacrifice, Stand and Deliver, somewhere in the not so distant future. But the other thing I'm really kind of thinking about, and it goes back to what I said as far as Shinsuke Nakamura winning the United States title to take it over to Noah.
Right.
You know, how long is Inamura on excursion? And is this something that they may want to do kind of as a thank you for the partnership that they've forged with Noah over the recent years? Nakamura going over there a couple times, AJ Styles. We've now got Inamura coming to NXT. Could moving the titles to Briggs and Inamura, even for a hiccup, be something that they're considering to maintain some goodwill in this relationship?
I mean, Omos literally became a GHC heavyweight tag team champion, and then he just vacated the titles. Now Noah vacated those titles, but I can kind of understand the whole idea of, Inamura becoming a champion in NXT even for a short moment. I mean, how many times did a champion from CMLL or NJPW win a title in Ring of Honor? So
fair enough. And if Dwayne is accurate in the private chat and says he heard it's a year, then okay, no need to do it just now. But I flash back to Joya and Yuya and how long he was here for. It didn't seem like he was here for a year, maybe 6 months or so.
At least, yes.
So it's like they may want to try and take advantage of that.
Baby,
can
I get a
Joya? And you used to hate that song. You talking about Arlene being a chaser. You were a Joya hater.
I was a Joe Hendry hater, but I found the Joya song kind of catchy.
Okay, fair enough. That baby, can I get it? That comes up during the
because Yuya looked so awkward doing it that you couldn't help but chuckle.
He just smiled, He just smiled. He had a better smile than Ethan Page, all right? Ethan had to do this to make his smile work, all right?
He was so offbeat, though. He was.
He was.
He was Michael Cole trying to give.
That's why I say he looked so awkward doing it.
It don't matter. It still worked. It was one of the best entrances ever. All right, so that being said, I like the thoughts. Emmanuel, I saw your hand remote. Then we'll go to Arlene. What you had to say real quick regarding this match?
The only way I could see this pairing to ever win is because WWE loves the mixed random tag teams. Like how many oddball tag teams have we seen just randomly just win the tag team championship? This is the only way I could see WWE actually have Fraxium lose the tag team titles. This is just a random pairing. This who in their right mind could they go? Yeah, Josh and Yoshi is a great tag.
Yoshi.
Let's run with it. This is so random that it feels like a bingo card. That like, yes, I knew it. That's how it feels.
And Noah, don't laugh at him for calling him Yoshi. It's Yoshi Enema. That's his name.
No, it's not that. It is literally down there in the banner. They don't even say it. Please, for the love of God, don't tell me that Vic Joseph Booker T's got half a brain. Please tell me, for the love of God, that Vic Joseph has not said Yoshi.
No, it's just something that my stepdad would have done. He would find some way to flip a name and make it humorous. So you look at the name Yoshiki Inamura, Yoshi Enema is something my stepdad would do.
Well, I mean, again, that's
easier.
Oh well.
It's just easier. Yeah.
It's just easier. Come on now. Shoot. Walter baptized by fire in Japanese names. Even he can say Yoshiki Inamura, I think at least. He just got done watching The New Beginning in Osaka. Proud of you, brother. So that being said, Arlene, I saw and the three wise folks here, three of the wise folks here. You had something to say real quick regarding this before we move on?
Yeah, two things. I didn't hate Chase U. I'm just saw some potential in some people more than the other ones, and I was trying to look out for their best interest. Okay, if turning heel was for their best interest,
Here we go again.
then it was. I'm just saying, Thea Hill. Just saying, they're
If
not
Thea
using her.
But
Hill,
she still
They're not
hasn't
using.
turned heel.
if Thea
I
Hill
know, but
shows
they
up part
haven't
of that
used her, JJ.
faction,
If she would have turned heel, they would be using her. Just saying.
I
But
mean, she might
anyways,
be
That's
part
my
of that
kind of
second
the
faction.
point.
point of Duke's interview with himself. Have you been watching that? The whole second interview, he's talking about he should have turned heel on Chase U.
Yeah,
I was waiting for it, personally.
yeah, me too. I felt like that him and Thea could have, or even her and Riley. But anyways, my second point was I actually was predicting new champions on this one, but then I started thinking about it, and then I changed my mind and
Good
felt
girl.
like they were going to retain. But I'll tell you why I changed my mind as we're going toward the next one, because that's why I changed my mind based on the next match and what I feel like they might do. But we'll see.
Hey, I don't think Google Translate works like that, Lily, but okay. All right, well, fair enough. Either way, unanimous on that one. The tag champs retain. Okay, now, Emmanuel, let's see if you whoop that trick, or do you support somebody that is trying to do everything possible to make sure that he's the talking point, looking to whoop Trick? Let's go ahead and talk about this match, the strap match, as it's Trick Williams, the former NXT champion, going one-on-one with Eddie Thorpe. After literally being whipped like a government mule with that leather strap 2 weeks ago on NXT, after the fall of that tag match with Obafemi leaving Trick Williams high and dry post-bout, this bad blood with Eddie Thorpe and Trick Williams goes all the way back to the point Eddie Thorpe literally decided to become part of the NXT Championship picture, and then some. Let's not forget, one time Trick Williams literally took Eddie Thorpe's head off when it was Trick Williams and Obafemi going face-to-face. Well, Eddie Thorpe's looking to get his own pound of flesh and get some payback, even though it's not called payback. It's Vengeance Day. So now we have a strap match with Eddie Thorpe versus Trick Williams. We saw the Evil Within Trick come out when Hollywood Page took him to the Devil's Playground at Halloween Havoc. And to y'all's point, Trick Williams kind of been unhinged considering the fact that he's no longer the champion and he's not even involved in the championship mix. Maybe this is the way you get there, and maybe this is the way you finally get maybe Trick Williams' last match in NXT, where he goes one-on-one with the Ruler, and the Ruler sends him off. Just saying. But that being said, Emmanuel, who gets whooped? And the thing is with this strap match, I imagine it's going to be either four corners or pinfall submission. They always seem to negotiate with that, I've noticed. But I think lately they've gone with the four corners. Either way, who you got winning this strap match? Trick Williams or Eddie Thorpe, Emmanuel?
I think it's going to be Trick Williams. I mean, like, but the more interesting storyline that I want to bring up, they're planting the seeds slowly on a Trick heel turn. If you haven't
Seems like
noticed,
it. No,
like,
come on, Thea Hill trying to turn heel. Trick Williams about seems to be turning heel.
yeah, no, like I'm being serious. Like the slap to West Lee, even though he deserved it, that's a heelish thing to do. And during this match, he's gonna lose control. He's gonna start to enjoy that dark side slowly by slowly. Like look at Ethan Page, like the how he made him go extreme and try to that's what I could see, like a heel Trick versus a baby face Oba, and that's the stand and deliver match. But like overall, like Eddie Thorpe, like I get the push, but I'm like it's a little bit too out of nowhere. Like for my tasting, like it feels like I planned this all this time. Like the my injuries, like which is smart. That's a heelish thing to do, and that's how you get your match. Like you didn't have to wait in line, and but at this point, there's just him losing and trying to get over with in the booking and the fans, like oh, this is a guy I want to see in the future hold a title, and they see promise with him, but it's gonna be taking time because I haven't got to it yet. I don't see the appeal to him yet, but it's still young. Like let's see if this hero run for Eddie compels me more and more of a reason than I just want the title, like I deserve it type of storyline, because anybody could say that, even a babyface could say, I want
Seems
the
like Owen
title.
don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things like I hope to see Trick Williams turn heel by, like I said, stand and deliver. If not, we might see at the end of the match, at the stand and deliver, a heel turn against Oba, and that's how you end NXT. The
So
NXT pay per
are you
view.
saying Trick gets whooped Saturday and he's long gone till stand deliver, or do you have Trick whooping Eddie Thorpe starting that dark road to heel turn?
I'm saying, it's going to be Trick Williams turning to the dark side eventually at the end of the pay per view.
Okay, but you got him beating Eddie Thorpe though on his way to that.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see the audience turn against Trick, because Trick has been the babyface in NXT for quite a while, but I do think more people are literally focused on the ruler. With that being said, regardless of an attitude adjustment, considering one time he did ask John Cena, when did you know your time was now? Just saying. Emmanuel, I'm surprised he didn't think about that. He does have Trick Williams winning. So we have one for Trick Williams. Wow, man, I didn't have to say anything. All right, well, Dwayne's been pretty quiet here. We got Dwayne, then JJ, then Arlene. So, Dwayne, go ahead. What you got to say regarding this strap match? And, Walter, did I see your hand too?
Walter went first. If you want to go to him, go ahead.
Thank you, because I was focused on Manuel. I didn't see who raised hand first.
Yeah, it was Walter, then Dwayne, then me, then Arlene, as far as order of hands up.
Thank you. This is why I have other people that are reliable in me and have a wider perspective. God bless this family. All right, Walter, let's get some more thoughts from you. What do you got to say regarding this match?
I got Eddie Thorpe winning, because otherwise, what was the whole point of his heel turn? Like, you wanted us to get behind him, and it seems like the company wants to push him and wants us behind him. You need wins over big names. He's got to win this. There's no way he can afford to lose this, because if he did, it's back to catering. Because, like, what else do you do with this guy? Like, you did that. You came back. He snuck his way into title shots. He did all this stuff that now you need to prove why you turned him heel and why we should take him serious. If we need to take him serious, you need big wins. And what bigger name right now, besides the champ, is Trick Williams. He's a former two-time champ. You get a name over that, you made your career. You get a win over that, you made your career, and you're on the way to the next level. If you really are behind him, you need him to win this match.
And despite it being a gimmick, and honestly, in the history of wrestling, we've seen gimmicks protect heels and propel heels. So I do see your point, because I was just figured about the fact there are other shows coming up before Stand Deliver that we might want to consider could be a roadblock for one of these men. That being said, Dwayne, go ahead. What you guys say regarding this? As it's 1-1 right now. Do you have Trick Williams or Eddie Thorpe?
No, I do not. I got Eddie Thorpe. I'm 1,000% what Walter said. He took basically word for what I was going to say. You can't get behind a man if you don't put wins on him. But this is also a match where Trick Williams can afford to lose, because number one, he's not if it's four corners like I think it's going to be, he can not take a pinfall. He's still protected in a way. But then Emmanuel brought up as well, you got Wesley out there. He's still wanting a little payback from Trick Williams as well. This probably come back where somebody can come in and try to help Eddie Thorpe some sort of way, tie him up, drag him around the corners one way. However, it doesn't matter. I think this is where we're going to see the dark side of Eddie Thorpe come out finally. You know, he's been teasing it, the heel. He's a heel, we know, but he's going to be a vindictive one like we think it's going to be. You know, I think they're going to strap a rocket to Eddie Thorpe here pretty soon. My money's with Eddie Thorpe.
All right. Fair enough. JJ, what you got to say in addition to that? Because when I first saw this match, I was going to go with Eddie Thorpe as well, because ever since he stopped being the DJ, it's like he's trying to personify this character, and he's gotten opportunity, but he's come up butt-kissed from them. And this is now the biggest match in his NXT career. So what do you got to say regarding this, JJ?
Again, it sucks sometimes having to follow Walter, because we're so much on the same frequency a lot of the times, since we both represent this NXT to the fullest.
Yep.
You know, you guys made the comment earlier when it came to Ethan Page that if he lost to Javon Evans, where does Ethan Page go? Take that statement asserted here with Eddie Thorpe. If Eddie Thorpe loses, what does he do? The
Nothing.
biggest problem with the NXT men's division, aside from it not being as deep as the women, too many heels, not enough baby faces. You can't afford to send Trick down the dark path to heeldom. You need him to stay babyface. But Eddie Thorpe needs a huge victory to propel him. And to Noah's point, not only do we have a roadblock between here and Stand and Deliver, you have TNA Impact from the temple of NXT, Full Sail University, next week. Don't think there's not going to be a whole lot of crossover there. If you ever wanted to set up an invasion angle between the two companies, that's where you start it.
Yep, I agree.
You come into the spiritual home, the sanctuary of NXT.
My
You're
NXT!
bringing the rival company? Oh no, bitch. We're here to fucking take y'all down.
True brand supremacy battle. But yeah, and arguably your biggest babyface right now in NXT is Trick Williams. Everyone loves that gimmick. Everyone followed Trick on the journey. Everyone's following Trick to try and get back there. And Trick is showing how much he wants to get back there, even if it means losing his cool a little bit. But sometimes you got to show a little bit of ruthless aggression if you're going to get ahead in this business. So,
oh, yeah, man.
Oh, gosh. Freaking Booker
I like
T.
it, dog.
Booker T, the only thing he's got to his credit is the fact that he literally made that a thing that might as well be on Spotify.
Is that the only thing he has to his credit, or does he have a certain prodigy who will be speaking about next to his credit as well?
Okay. As the most biased commentator in NXT, absolutely 100%.
And the King Bees who were on TNA tonight, and Maya World who was on Dynamite last night. I'm just saying, we talked about it before we went live. Great week for Reality of Wrestling.
Yeah, good stuff for his company. Go follow it on YouTube, folks. Just saying. Seriously, it is a good company, though. And Booker T, even though, again, commentary, no. The man's given just due to the future of this business, including being part of the LFG show on A&E. So, again, no disrespect to Booker T. But seriously, commentary, Vic Joseph, Corey Graves, please. Two-man booths, so much better. Anyway, all right. Well, I think we about covered everything there. Carlene, I believe you were the last one with your hand up. So what you guys say regarding this? Because it sounds like right now it's pretty much everybody, I think, except Emmanuel, 484. So I know this is a stretch. Do you agree with your brother? Or do you agree with the other four people here?
I gotta agree with the other four. And here's why. Like, I was one of the first ones to say, like, eventually that Trick Williams was gonna turn heel until NXT deliver, and that's how you move him up to the thing, just to see if it works for him, at least. Um, that's one thing. And if he's already going to that dark path, he has to go slowly. And if he keeps losing, I feel like if he keeps losing, he's gonna go into that darker path because now it's like I can do like everybody's underestimating. Was champion at one point, and they're like, and people can be like, yeah, but that was in the past. We have more people that are now the future, and then he start getting frustrated, and then that's kind of what leads him down that path eventually. By now, like I don't think they're gonna turn him heel yet. Like I agree, it's too soon for him to. I think he has to keep losing and people to keep underestimating to the point where he gets so frustrated, like, screw this. I've been doing it the nice way all this time. Like I said, following his, what would you call Carmelo? His manager? Um,
Hype man.
I'm not sure, but huh? Hype man, yeah.
Maybe
Like
the hype man to him. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
last year he was his
Well,
hype man.
whatever
We saw what
Carmelo
happened.
Hayes was to him, like he was right. Like even with John Cena, the way he does his promos, like heelish promos, I feel like this is gonna lead, and I feel like spoiler when it comes to like the elimination chamber, I think John Cena is gonna lose the chamber, and this is gonna cause him to go also to the dark path as well because he's always done what was best for the company.
That's for business.
So it's like I won't go too much into detail. I kind of want to say that for Elimination Chamber, but just the fact that he said that, only heelish people have said that, and this is his idol. Who's to say he's not following his idol John Cena down that path too? So I feel like he has to continue losing to the point where he gets frustrated and says, "Look what my idol did. He got tired of always being the yes man. Maybe I'm should follow his lead and stop being the yes man and take my opportunity and take it into my own hands instead of, depending on playing it the good side. Now maybe I need to do it kind of dirty to get to where I want to be, kind of thing. But I think
Sometimes
it's
you gotta do that.
yeah. So it's like I think he has to lose this one to continue that path. I think it's going to be very slowly. They're going to take their time with this, but it's going to get to that point where he's going to get frustrated, and just like John Cena when like, because he only has this year to reign that championship, where he's like freaking like, if I have to cheat to get to this point, I will, because I really want that title. And I think Trick Williams is on that same path as John Cena.
That's fair. And I'm going to say this right now. I'm just really curious to hear what John Cena's post-media scrum after the Elimination Chamber is going to be. Just saying. That being said, the man that can't stand that name, I see his hand went up when you mentioned it. What you got to say real quick, man, before we get into our main event?
No, I'm about to say, like, the only way I can see that if the new faction does, screw Trick Williams, but like I said before, like you guys are asking what's next for Eddie. If Sean Spears does not dethrone Tony D'Angelo, that's his next, challenge, the North American title, and boost him up, because let's admit it, like that's a step up. You don't want to put him in the main title right away, because how many people have just get like they really have high hopes with A. Thorpe as the main inventor, then yeah, boost him up, like just like Obafemi, like rush him to the top. But I'm telling you, like I don't see it yet. I feel like he need more of a mid card because of his physique and stature. That's why I'm leaning more towards Trick. But I'm not gonna try to convince you guys. If you want to lose the point, that's great. If I lose the point, oh well, I was wrong. But that's how I feel about it. It's the mid card business.
I respect anybody that actually commits to what they believe in. All right. So, I mean, again, die on that sword. It's one of those things. So let's go ahead and see now how unanimous I feel is going to be match tonight. Should be man event of the night. Has probably the most to talk about tonight. And as always, here's to the predicting. Everybody will get their thoughts. But again, I went clockwise, and they also do these things with a purpose. Last year's champion, the only woman on this panel. She's going to kick things off. So without further ado, everyone's had a lot of fun. There's been a lot of great talks, unique discussion. But let's go ahead and talk about what truly feels like the main event for the NXT Women's Championship. It is Beautiful Madness Julia defending the gold against Roxanne Perez, Bayley, and Cora Jade. Originally, this match was going to be Bayley versus Julia, since Bayley came back down to NXT to kind of, I would say, prepare Roxanne Perez for what could be the next stage of her career, considering how you look at what Bayley was to NXT, how Roxanne Perez first started to be in NXT, the role model and the stars that both these individuals have become in and out of WWE on their respective brands. Bayley, of course, Grand Slam champion, and of course, the huge moment of trailblazing that she led, including inspiring one, Izzy Moreno. And at one point, Roxanne Perez saying, it looks like I'm your role model now. I'm your biggest inspiration. To the point she mocked the hugger gimmick this past Tuesday that cost Bayley a huge monumental career win for Cora Jade, that Ava Raine decided to put Cora Jade into this match. And despite the fact Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez have both lost as a tag team to Julia and Bayley, we now are in a fatal four-way situation where I might want to add to your thoughts, Arlene, there's a certain Royal Rumble winner that's looking to be inspired by NXT. Now, I'm not going to say anything else because I know everyone's got a lot to say about this, and as an African women's wrestling, I've gone about this match all night because to me, this is the only match that truly matters on this show because, Dwayne, I kind of agree this does feel like TV, but this match is going to be pay-per-view quality, damn it. Arlene, it's on you. Do you have a brand new NXT Women's Champion, or does the beautiful madness prevail against this star-studded field? Good luck.
Okay, so I've been back and forth, so I will probably end up changing my pick on this one.
Ah,
But and I'll tell you why. Because once I started looking, looking at this card, I kept thinking, like, they're not gonna make Julia lose the title, right? But then who has been appearing on TNA lately, wanting to challenge for the TA Knockouts Championship? Cora. Now, what did they do with Roxanne and Jordan Grace? Roxy, Jordan Grace came and challenged for the championship. Who's to say that they not give this to Cora and then have her take the NXT title and challenge it to Masha
Masha
Slapovich.
Savage. Okay, I wanted to pronounce it right.
Respect.
So who's to say that she might not challenge that title with the NXT Women's Championship title? This is why I kind of wanted to go first before JJ or Walter stole my idea as well. So I was like, please, and I messaged you too. I was like, oh, please let me go because I don't want JJ or Walter to
You're
steal
just
my
lucky you
idea.
were in that square, because if you weren't in that square, you would not have been first. But go ahead.
but it had me thinking. I'm like, that they done that with Jordan Grace. She came and challenged Roxanne for the NXT title. Who's to say that Corda Jade, who has been on NXT lately, wanting to challenge for the TNA title, that maybe they give her a title for a couple weeks just so that they can broadcast their title on TNA? And then I'm like, but then you're giving Julia a small title reign. So I'm like, and then I don't see Roxanne and Bailey winning this either. So I'm like, it's between those two, but I gotta go with Julia. But I can't stop thinking about the fact that Cora Jade is has been going to TNA, wanting to challenge for that championship, and it makes me think that maybe they might give it to her just to get that exposure in TNA, fulfilling their title. And she could eat the pin. It's okay, but at least they're bringing in the TNA Knockouts division up as well as a result, because they were able to hang with someone from NXT, and Cora could eat the pin, honestly. But that's what got me thinking. And but I hope that's not something that they're gonna try to do, but it had me thinking about that. But for right
I
now, I'm
love
gonna go with
that.
Julia. I'm gonna
All
go
right.
with Julia for right now, but just the fact that Cora Jade's been going to TNA, I'm like, could they give this to Cora just so that they can bring that title over there and get that exposure over there in TNA? And I can see that happening. So that is why I'm like, I might end up changing my pick maybe later on. I don't know, but that's where my mind's going right
I love it. I love the fact your mind is just rumming right now with the possibilities of there being a new champion, but also Julia Ricciani, but how TNA can still be involved in this as well, because that lands some thoughts for me to think about as well, because I also think about TNA with this, and I think about Elena Black, the former Cora Jade, involved in violent, beautiful death matches that Masha absolutely loves. And yes, it is inevitable that Masha will face Cora Jade, defending the TNA Knockouts World Championship, I feel like, as Cora has been taking this different path, but also as Tessa Blanchard, just saying. So, again, there's a lot of NXT and A to think about here with the two most dominant women's division on the Western Front, although AEW has so much potential, but Tony Khan, you need to do your work better. So, I love that. But that being said, we're going around the horn. As I said, someone's going to get their thoughts. We're going counterclockwise, and Arlene set the ballot for Julia retaining the NXT Women's Championship. All right, Dwayne, now it's on you. So what do you guys say regarding this? And again, to Arlene's point, Roxanne and Bailey are both involved right now in main roster business concerning the Elimination Chamber. Because regardless of this match, Roxanne has a chance to become part of the field that Bailey is part of, beating Raquel Rodriguez this Monday on Raw. So think about that, cause and effect. There's a lot here where you can think about no one here deserves to lose, but someone has to. So Dwayne, what do you guys say regarding this?
The only thing that would make this match so better is if it was an elimination match. Oh, I kind of like what Arlene said. I like what Arlene said. I gotta admit that was probably one of the furthest things from my mind. However, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm just going to make this short and simple. This is Roxanne Perez's swan song, I think. She's going to the main roster. She's going to beat Raquel Monday night to be in the Elimination Chamber match. I think Julia's going to take the pin. Is going to pin her, on the way out. I think it's safe to bet nobody here is even considering Bayley winning this title, right? I mean, this is where it gets me for at least Cora Jade. I think if it ain't going to be Stephanie McCure beating her, I think it's going to be Cora Jade. She's been long overdue for a title run to me, even though injuries keep getting in the way with her. But to me, it's Julia's retaining this Roxanne Perez's swan song.
That's fair. I can definitely respect that thought. And now, Mr. NXT, JJ, you heard what Roxanne says, that when it comes to that NXT Women's Championship, nothing else matters, including friends. Yet, it was Roxanne's inadvertent distraction that allowed her friend to now be part of this women's four-way dance. The daughters of CM Punk, as we like to call them. And again, you have said it verbatim. If it wasn't for that injury, Cora Jade very well could have been Roxanne Perez, NXT, quote unquote. JJ, it's now on you. What you got to say regarding this four-way dance for the NXT Women's Championship? So far, we got two saying Julia is going to retain.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying that Arlene had every right to be worried, because almost every word that she said was shit that was going through my head. With the exception of who she has picked to win. Because I have a new champion.
Oh, here we go.
I am going for Cora Jade. Because you're right. Last year's Roxanne run was supposed to be Cora's. However, you don't want to give a heel that moment on a stand and deliver stage, on a WrestleMania stage. You want to give her that moment beforehand. Otherwise, you're going to end up turning her babyface in the process. And you don't want to turn her babyface. You want to coronate the next new face of the company in a moment like that. A juggernaut, perhaps. I think Cora's going to take the title here. I don't think this is going to be Roxanne's swan song. I think that'll be at Roadblock. Roxanne can go against Cora. Loser leaves NXT. And that's how you write Roxanne off of the show. Because there is still a lot of stuff between the two. Let's not forget how Cora turned on Roxanne all those years ago when they won the tag titles. Let's not forget that Cora only came back because Roxanne showed her darker side. And as soon as Cora started to get close to sniffing the title, she started to push Roxanne away again. I think we end up seeing a babyface turn for Roxanne before she leaves, hence the loser leaves match. That way we can get babyface Roxanne coming up to the main roster. Which, as great as this heel run has been, we can all admit Roxanne is so much better as a babyface. Roxanne should have been that Ricky Steamboat to never turn heel. She only did it because they needed somebody. Reset, move her up to the main roster. Your new NXT Women's Champion, Cora Jade.
It's not a triple threat. You don't have necessarily just buffer. You don't have necessarily fall person. You got two women with main roster business. You got one looking for TNA business. Then you got the Beautiful Madness where people are just begging for Stephanie McCure versus Julia. And if Stephanie doesn't win earlier and Julia wins here, very much might be your build towards stand and deliver. But it's very fair point, JJ. All right, so that being said, 2 Julia, 1 Cora Jade. All right, Walter, now it's on you. Again, Cora Jade was involved, of course, on TNA Impact tonight, taking on Xia Brookside, and she's already handed a kill warrant for March Slammers. Now, whether or not that takes place at Sacrifice or at NXTNA at Full Sail University, just saying, there's no February special for TNA. Whether or not Cora Jade actually wins the TNA Knockouts World Championship, that's probably the biggest WTF moment of the year so far, and what's already been a bunch of WTF moments for the wrestling business. So, Walter, what do you guys say regarding the NXT Women's Championship? Who you got leaving with the gold?
First thing I got to say about the NXT Women's Division is what a problem to have this match, and all of us have different opinions. That just shows how strong this roster is. And Dwight said what I was gonna say. I kind of wish they would do when they do Fatal 4-Ways in this, make the person earn it and have an elimination style. But I get it; it's too close to Elimination Chamber to do this again and make this elimination.
Right.
So I figured that's why they wouldn't do that. But I like JJ's idea and everything, but I think it's too soon to take it off Julia. And even though you can kind of bypass that because it's a Fatal 4-Way and she won't have to be involved in the fall, I just like Julia having it and then eventually get to Stephanie, or having both of them have the titles at the same time and kind of carry the NXT into the newest chapter or whatever is gonna happen. So I'm gonna go with Julia to retain here, but I don't mind JJ's idea either. That I think that would be a good way to write Roxanne off too.
Yeah, and I do think Roxanne is getting near that point where she's going to bid NXT adieu. When Bayley left NXT, it was NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 after she lost to Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship in her rematch. And next thing you know, she was on the main roster for the rest of her time. It's also one of those things right now where, again, we have to consider the Queen might be inspired by who wins this. And I also think if you're going to go to WrestleMania, whether stand and deliver or the WrestleMania stage, the NXT Women's Championship defended at WrestleMania again in front of people would be a huge milestone for NXT and for Beautiful Madness herself. But that being said, Emmanuel, it's on you now. So we have 3 Julias, 1 Cora Jades, no Bayley, and no Roxanne Perez's. And I think that's pretty poetic. What do you guys say regarding the NXT Women's Championship? Who you got leaving with the gold?
I mean, like I like the inputs for all of you, but I'm thinking WWE logic.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I know. WWE logic says Bayley and Roxanne are gonna be too heated up, trying to beat each other up so badly that cuts them off automatically. That's why no one's going for them. Let's admit it.
Agree.
Now, Cora Jade, like I like the idea, but here's the problem. Like for me, there's a slight problem with this. Is she a main eventer for Stand and Deliver? I think so. Like I could say she's probably a main eventer, but how many enemies has she created from TNA? Who's not to say someone from TNA screws her over, and maybe Slammer bitch. Like you never know, like who comes along and screw Jade in the just to because she's been like there like interfering a lot and just making her presence felt. How would she handle if a TNA knockout come to her territory? Now how would she handle it? Type of scenario. So in theory, Julia wins and retains. Cora eventually will win it because that way the next year you build her up as a main event heel and and dominate the reigns like let her had this long cure run, because if she gains it right now, who's to say that she holds it for long? I'm not sure. It's that they will have a heel win over a baby face doing stand and deliver. Maybe it's possible, and but but they're the logic. Julia is going to retain it. She eventually is going to face Cora 1-on-1, and that's when Cora wins it.
Okay. I can respect that. Oh, jeez, they had to make it a fatal four-way. Damn it. Damn it. Okay. Look,
Again, the biggest thing that's going on in my head before Noah weighs in is the fact that Julia was in the Rumble. Chances are she's going to get a call up. So
said-
why would you give her a long run? That's why I didn't think her winning the title was a good call, because now you're giving her a short run.
yeah.
We knew Jordan Grace was going to be coming. They should have just moved it from Roxanne to Jordan Grace.
I'm pretty sure this was Roxanne's third Rumble, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was.
She's the only one that hasn't been called up yet, and she would have been called up last year had Cora not gotten injured.
True.
And again, it's like everything got set back because Cora got injured, which is why I think about, again, are they still testing Cora Jade out to be the woman to lead NXT this next generation for a duration? Arlene, I see your hand. You got something to say real quick?
I'm just wanted to say to kind of just piggyback about what JJ said about like the people in the Royal Rumble getting called up. It's just interesting that the only person that you've actually seen on TV in both Raw and SmackDown is just Roxanne. You haven't seen Jada Parker make an appearance on the main roster yet. You still haven't seen Lash Legend make a, not even Stephanie. Like those have stayed on NXT, and the only one that you've actually seen like actually on either Raw or SmackDown as Roxanne. So it makes me think, are they actually going to call them up right now? Or are they going to wait till WrestleMania is over and call them up then? And if that's the plan, then have Stephanie lose it at NXT Stand and Deliver and then have her go that way out. But as of right now, it doesn't seem like anyone's really been called up yet, as of yet, except for
Well,
Roxanne,
yeah.
because she's the one that's been like going to be involved in to get into the elimination chamber, which we honestly don't think Raquel's going to win. So we know that
No.
she's going to get. So I mean, I think it's a given. So I mean, I think they really have trust in her already. So to have her beat the record and stuff like that. So I think they see a bright future with her. So I I I don't know. I think that if anyone else is going to get called up, it's going to be after WrestleMania, not anytime soon, at least.
JJ, I saw you had a hand up. What do you guys say regarding that?
I love this part of the show where we get to the discourse and the back and forth, and I know it's what you hate the most. I can see you sitting there like, God damn it, I'm tired. I got to work tomorrow. Can we just fucking wrap this up already?
You know me too well, brother, but you also know I endure.
But to Arlene's point, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson were both on SmackDown last year.
True, but
That's
they haven't
part of
done
why. That's part of why Lash got the Rumble appearance, because she was so
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, but they haven't brought her back since. So, and I mean, you've only
They
seen her
haven't.
with, yeah. So
They
that's
haven't. You're right there, but just to counterpoint, they have been on SmackDown, and to your point about her losing it at Stand and Deliver, do you really want somebody as notable as a Stephanie Vaquer, as notable as a Julia, to only have a 2-month run with the championship?
No.
A 4-month run with the championship?
No.
Or are these women that you want to anchor a division on and give a good 6-month to a year run?
Yeah, Roxanne
You
had
want to
a
give them a good 6-month to a year run. And I don't think that's going to happen, because the women's division on the main roster is starving for stars.
Yep.
The horsewoman era is dead. Where the fuck is Becky Lynch? Charlotte gets injured. She'll come back within 3 months. She's injured and she's gone for 2 years. The only reliable name out of the horsewomen still is Bayley. Her time is up. Natalia's been on the roster for damn near 20 years. You've got you got people with jobs like Candice LeRae. The fuck? They need new talent to cycle in that's going to carry the division for 10 years. You know, that's why that moment in the Rumble with Jakara, or not Jakara, excuse me, but Lash, Jada, and Roxanne looking across at Bailey and Bianca and Charlotte was such a huge moment. It's the present and the future.
Well said. And I just got to call Ace of Spades here. I think there's a reason why Cora Jade was at it because, again, you can't have Bailey eat the fall if her and Roxanne are going to beef on the main roster through the elimination chamber and potentially set up a one-on-one match either at an NXT stage, Stand Deliver, or her main roster WWE in-ring debut, not the qualifying match against Raquel Rodriguez. That leaves Julia and Cora Jade. It does feel like Julia and Cora Jade should be a big one-on-one for the title, but the fact that Cora Jade already has her name in so many hats when it comes to championships, we keep talking about TNA Knockouts World Championship, Masha Slamovich. If she has that opportunity already waiting for her, then what's this opportunity? I don't want to say she's going to go back-to-back losing, but it kind of feels like that, unfortunately. So what do you do? And the fact that Julia respects Bailey so much, and Bailey, being the veteran that she is already in the chamber, Bailey, I think, could actually eat the fall, and it protects Cora in case, you know, she fails against Masha, and she still has yet to fall to Julia. Fallout between Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade is 100%, I think, going to come because both these women are going to be a roadblock to the NXT Women's Championship against each other. And maybe that could be Roxanne Perez's swan song. It really depends. But either way, Julia, in my opinion, needs to retain to continue to elevate the NXT Women's Championship that she just won off of Roxanne back at New Year's Evil, which, might I add, was not even a month and a half ago. And why Charlotte Flair might literally come back for the NXT Women's Championship. There's that speculation. People want to see the hat trick, want to see the rubber with Mommy, Rhea Ripley, and the Queen. People have been clamoring for the dream match. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Will she take her up on that? I don't know. She calls one a kid. She says the other one still needs to mature. Then we got Nia Jax back in the title mixture. Blech. But it's just one of those things right now where I see Bayley versus Roxanne Perez coming up during WrestleMania weekend. I can see that being the Stand Deliver exhibition. But right now, you got to have Julia retain. Just continue the aspect of Julia versus Cora Jade or even Julia versus Stephanie Valkyrie. So either way, beautiful madness will prevail across this field. And I'm going to say that Bayley's the one that needs to fall here to protect Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, considering Roxanne has a match on Monday night and Cora Jade has a big TNA opportunity coming up. So I got Julia winning, pinning Bayley. But this is going to be an incredible match. And Walter, I'm pretty sure this match is going to make our top 10 for the month of February. It might even be better than Saya Kamitani versus Suzu Suzuki from Stardom. And that's how much of a high standard I'm giving it, considering the talent involved here and the stories mesh. I just can't wait to see Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade have a fallout again. It's going to be very interesting.
It better make your top 10. There was no NXT matches for January. Damn it.
I made Julia and Roxanne Perez an honorable mention, but at the end of the day, the women's matches were mostly underwhelming. There was one moment. That gentleman, though, you could talk to him all day about that. I had nothing to do with that.
Blame Japan.
That's also accurate.
What is this, South Park? Blame Canada. Blame Japan.
All right. Well, either way, this is going to be an incredible match, and I got Julia retaining, and whether or not Roxanne and Cora get their own vengeance day against maybe one another, for JJ's point, the bad blood has been with them during their runs at times when Cora was on the shelf and Roxanne was excelling. That remains to be seen. Or the bad blood split between Bayley and Roxanne Perez happens here as well. Something's going to give, but I don't think it's going to be the NXT Women's Championship. But that being said, great conversation all around, folks. And again, folks, what do you expect? Do you expect Charlotte Flair to watch this match and challenge the winner? Again, she has all the time in the world. She might even wait till after the Elimination Chamber. Do you expect Bayley and Roxanne Perez to be a marquee match during WrestleMania weekend? Will Roxanne and Cora Jade happen once again? Are either of them a roadblock to each other? Will Masha, will someone else cross the line here at Vengeance Day? A whole nother aspect we didn't consider the whole entire night. Even that faction per se. Let us know your comments. Let us know your thoughts in the chat. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Incredible predictions, analysis, and conversations as always. Hope everyone had a great time. Good luck to you all here in this year's kickoff of the NXT League. before everybody have fun to do, let's go ahead, show, plug, subscribe. And again, talk about where people can find us too. Wayne, always a pleasure. Good luck to you in this NXT League. A lot of fun as always. We'll see what the next opportunity brings you. Any last thoughts and where can people find you?
You can only find me on Facebook right now. I pretty much deactivated my Twitter. I never use it. But however, this has been great. A lot of fun. One thing I love about sitting is y'all bring ideas up that I never would cross my mind. So, just really makes me think, especially now when it times to start filling out that prediction card. So I may be making a few changes or adjustments myself. So, but you know what? Either way, it's a great looking forward to seeing it. Looking forward to doing Elimination Chamber with you guys, Lord willing. Other than that, man, I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Dwayne. Stay safe. All right. Arlene, again, good luck. You're defending your crown. Always a pleasure. You got a very unique mindset, and despite this man trying to put Logic W in the same sense, which is just not possible, good luck against him once again. Any last things you want to say, and where can people connect with you?
I need to find myself a crown so I can wear it every time I come on predictions, just to mess with JJ. But
oh boy, here we go.
Anyways, yeah, like I always think I always think about, like, my mind's always like out there, and JJ's like, but yay, sometimes it's worked for me, at least when it comes to NXT with the way my mind works, because otherwise I wouldn't be champion right now if my mind didn't work a certain way. So
this is accurate.
there's that. But you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, on the Twitter, and yeah, if you we'll see how this goes, but based on my track record, I think if you want to know who's a good predictor, follow me instead of my brother. Just saying. Thank you.
There's the line I was waiting for. Good grief. It will never end with these two. God bless the Dominguez. All right. Well, good luck, and thank you for being part of this predicting. You're always welcome here, as always. Emmanuel. Look, she's not in the chamber. She's probably will pick her winner after the chamber. Who knows? Plus, the chambers aren't even filled out yet. And right now, I'm looking at this field. Yeah, you need to bring something. I don't know what, but something. Something! I need something for someone funny. Anyway, Emmanuel, go ahead and tell where people find you and any last thoughts you have regarding the show too.
Like, I don't know if JJ had the picture I sent to him. Do you have the picture?
What?
No. All right. Because I sent JJ a picture of us, like me and Irene at Knott's Berry Farm with Snoopy and Woodstock. Like,
I'm not producing right now.
I know. Like, so that's the only time you're gonna see us get along and be happy. But to be fair, like, if it wasn't for our son, like my mistake for not entering certain pay-per-views of NXT, you might have heard a certain champion. I just say there's some.
Well,
you're tied to talker. Put your hand down. No one's here.
Sibling rivalry at its best.
You're right.
Do I have to remind everybody what happened when you kept asking me who I thought was gonna win? At one point, I came home one time and you're like, you got a perfect one. And I was like, no, I changed 2 picks because I changed my mind. Otherwise, I would have had a perfect thingy. But he actually looked at me. He's like, man, you got perfect on the freaking card. I was like, so don't come to me about like you would have been ahead.
All right, let's bring it up. There's a reason why I'm in the middle, folks. Let's bring it up here. All right, fair enough, Emmanuel, and I'm sure you'll have a counterpoint when we get to the Elimination Chamber. I forget right now in the WWE League which one of you had a better now if you both tied, but it's somewhere on my social media. You all can look it up.
We had the same points, to be honest.
Yeah, we have the same points.
Right now, need to add these two to the card against one another.
Man, honestly, I might just put these two in a league of their own. They're already part of the friggin' WWE, NXT, and pretty much they are part of the Simulable Studios at this point with me, JJ, and you. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thank you both. Always appreciate you, Dominguez.
I just have to say one thing. Like, for now on, I have to think about how WWE will book it, because I feel like for the most part, I could have gotten more points. I should have known better that Charlie would have won. I should have known better that like a certain EOS guy will be number one, because that made sense. She's the popular one. Like there are certain things that
That's
make
fair.
sense. Like that I should have just sat down, but I made a mistake. Like that just last year. I was just thinking too much to my heart. Now, not
Well,
for now on, I gotta start saying WWE logic. So you're gonna hear that a bunch of this conversation throughout
oh,
this
good
year.
grief. Well, they're going to be a Pee Wee Herman secret word phrase at this point. WWE logic and subscribe. What the hell's happening here? I'm just going to figure out a way to overlay the word subscribe or WWE logic now when it freaking comes up, because he freaking said that on a freaking white transparency background. Damn it. Anyway, all right. I appreciate you both.
Yeah, all you need is the horns. Yeah, he said something cool.
All right, we are not going to overkill a gimmick. There's a reason why y'all said his name. I did not bring up the picture or had the theme played, all right? And only did the something thing once. So that being said, gimmicks rest aside for the night. Still to your brains. Good luck in the predicting this weekend. All right. Well, Walter, you and I got a busy weekend ahead. We're going to be calling Vengeance Day, not to mention AEW Grand Slam, where I might also be thinking about my heart when it comes to the face of TBS, but that's a whole different conversation and roast for another evening. That being said, subscribe. Walter, always a pleasure. Subscribe. I look forward to this weekend. We, of course, have the two shows and the shenanigans. Subscribe. But go ahead and tell where people can find and connect with you. Subscribe. And also, any last thoughts you have regarding this weekend Vengeance Day show, too. Subscribe.
I freaking love you, Noah. But it's the word of the year. Subscribe. Just
right. I got to go to a different studio to get your graphics, though. Give me a second. Things might change here a little bit, folks. Just level with us.
Don't even worry about it. I was only going to show the one, just at Rage of Wrestling YouTube. And now I got to say it, Mamacita. Sorry, Arlene, you have to see that. But
oh, that's right. She's never saw that before. Whoops.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it on the No DQ review and everything. I've been on the predictions.
She watches the content. She knows.
Yeah. Right. I know.
Yeah, I mean, she should know.
I have to tell Walter that if we go to NXT Stand and Deliver, I will make it my mission to have a picture or try to see if I can get a video of her saying something to him to just make his year. And so his wife can kill him later.
Arlene, if you go to Stand and Deliver, you should print that out as an 8x10 and get her to sign it for him.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. And then his wife can kill him later, and then we know what happened to Walter.
Plug it. Oh my God! If she plugs the channel, then
I'll have her write to Walter on like her cheek or something, and then sign it.
Yeah.
So it looks like his name is tattooed on her butt.
Right? I would love you forever. Early.
All I have to say is here. Look, all I have to say is Oreen saw the attitude error. She's selling more wars. The pimps, the hoes, Balbina's with. So she's seen it. She's seen it all.
Oh my gosh! And we have gone down a deep, deep spiral where this show is going to hell.
Subscribe. The word of the year, because definitely if you get me to 300, that the hot ones. Although I think I need a doctor on call for that.
Yeah, about to say, you really realize your health right now might be at risk with what you're trying to do, you crazy fool?
Hey, man, anything's possible. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with you and y'all's logic in mind. So, all right, well, thank you, Walter. Appreciate you. I look forward to calling this and everything ahead to the weekend and the Watch on schedule, too. Well, JJ, again, priorities over passions aside, your brand is still going to stand and deliver come Saturday night before the actual show comes. And I know you also have a lot of great content to come still, too. So go ahead and tell where people can find and connect with you. Always a pleasure.
Well, you can find me on Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams, X and Blue Sky, ROWJJ Williams, YouTube Casa D18 Studios. And I got to say, Noah, for a man who hates plugging, who hates shilling, you sure have become quite the commercial endorsement. I'm just waiting for you to have a late night infomercial over here.
Yeah.
And as far as you, Missy, right now you are in the same realm as Vince Russo and David Arquette. one-time champion. Let's see you defend it. Let's see you become multi-time before you start running your yap about how great you are, okay? Right now, you are on the same level as Vince Russo and David Arquette. I can't even say Vince McMahon. He had the WWF and the ECW title. He's a two-time
right.
champion, okay? Mind yourself, little girl. Mind yourself.
Bask in her glory. Good grief. Absolute gang warfare happening here on the Eagles. Oh, Lord, I love y'all. All right. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm just a guy that just does his job and helps his friends.
Subscribe.
But, well, I mean, you know, that's the word of the day, right? Again, subscribe. Simply put, subscribe. All right.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it. I can't. I'm just trying to help him out. Dude needs the subscriptions. Dude deserves it. You all deserve it. I'm just here to endorse it.
You know me. I don't dispute that. I try to help Shill Firm as much as we can, but you're always over here talking about how you don't like promoting, how you don't like shilling.
Self-promoting.
And every fucking word out of your mouth today has been subscribe, 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 subscribe. It's like, dude, come on.
But I mean, again, am I promoting myself? Nah. Keyword, JJ, self-promoting. The only reason I self-promote is because it encourages people to have fun and just to enjoy wrestling. And it also tells people what to do the Predictions League. So people are like, how do I join these? Because turns out people actually like to have fun with wrestling. Ain't that some crazy shit? It's not just about constantly bickering over pointless nonsense, calling somebody a mark, whether or not you wear certain eyewear or you're from a certain state or you believe the crap that comes out your own damn mouth as if it's the gospel itself. You know who you are if you exist in internet land. I'm going to leave you anonymous as you try and look at yourself in the mirror and find out exactly who you are. Why did you become timeless? What the hell's happening here? That's gonna trigger it. The Glamour will freaking put that timeless one-hit wonder in the past once and for all. Down under, mark my freaking words. Sorry. Anyway. He just knows how to push the buttons. He just knows how to push the right buttons. Always. You son of a gun. Just like my ATW family. Anyway.
Storm wins via disqualification.
I'll allow that as long as it's still all about the Glamour with the title.
She will ascend back to her throne on March 9th in Los Angeles, the same place Timeless Tony won the title the first time at Full Gear.
We'll see. All right. That being said, again, thank you all for tuning in. Again, if you want to be part of the Predictions League, follow me primarily on the social medias. I'm barely social as it is, but that's how I always update graphics. I shill no DQ. I shill these guys to subscribe. And again, you can be part of the Predictions Leagues by following me on the Twitter and on YouTube at nfoster1916. For again, I'm just a simple man, a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! And again, shout out to AW fan across the social medias. King, I hope you're doing better, brother. There'll be another impromptu soon. They come up out of nowhere. Not sure when I'm going to do it again. Of course, Simply Liable has a lot of stuff coming up because this month we're going to definitely try to level up. We'll try a Cuphead campaign. We might talk a little bit about video games. Plays that just had a state of play. Subscribe. And again, find the Twitch if you want. Subscribe. And also stay tuned for our next top 10 at the end of the month. Again, Simply Liable will be back this weekend across the Simply Liable studios covering NXT Vengeance Day, AEW Grand Slam, before we transition into the weekly Saturday Night Shenanigans, hosted by the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. So, again, stay tuned for all of that and so much more, too, as I always continue to remind you. That's just wrong. That's some Elon Musk shit right there. I just want to remind you, encourage you, there are no winners, no losers, no betters, just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect your term, protect your mentality too, subscribe. Treasure your families, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. And it's truly as simple as that. And again, the forum will be live across my social media, the community tab, and the chat some point tomorrow morning. And I'm also going to send it to all these fine folks to make sure they make their predictions official. Again, good luck to everybody involved. And thank you for those that tuned in throughout the night. Lily, Nestor, War Hero, Charles, Daniel, Colin, Matt, Chris, Ryan. Thank you all for giving your conversations and thoughts towards everything. I hope you all have fun as well. But until then, I think we've done enough tonight. It's Friday here on the East Coast, and I do have work in the morning too. He knows me. He knows I work 5 days a week, but technically 7. So I think for now, I'll bid you all a fine adieu in simple British game show fashion, because there's only 4 other Yahoos with me tonight. So for Arlene Dominguez, Arlene, say goodbye.
Adios.
For Emmanuel Dominguez, that constantly disagrees with her, Emmanuel, say goodbye.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, Jesus Christ. For Mr. Reliable, subscribe. Walter Cruz, say subscribe and say goodbye.
Subscribe. Goodbye.
For the Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams, always serving restaurant quality booking and analysis, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
And I am not the learning tree, but I am the Superman Noel Foster. So until next time, it's a goodbye from me. So as always, make a positive impact in life. Enjoy Vengeance Day this weekend, and have a good night. And thank you for tuning in once again to Simply Predicting. Have a good night, folks. You all. Good grief.
Enroll and chase you.
No, it is not a Craig University. It is dead
Look
for
at that.
a reason.
Cursive. What they lack in 2025.
Well, education is a whole different conversation. Are you kidding me? It's just one of those things where I'm just like, seriously, that when the world goes so south is beyond me. All right. Then again, I'm not trying to be political, my fellow Americans and Canadians and international wrestling fans. What do I know? I know I'm an individual. So anyway, all right, I'm hitting the button. So again, thank everybody for tuning in. This has been another edition of Simply Predicting. Subscribe. We'll see you next Simply Predicting for the WWE Elimination Chamber. Good grief.
And enroll in Chase University.
No, it's closed for a reason. It's dead. It's
I
dead.
believe in Joe Hendry.
Damn it, JJ, I was about to hit the button.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
You son of a bitch.
Happy
Do you believe?
Valentine's Day.
Ay. Of course I believe. I believe before he was even in TNA. All right, I'm hitting the button. Seriously. God damn it.